The 2010 Copiapó mining accident occurred on August 5, 2010, when the San José copper-gold mine, located near Copiapó, Chile, collapsed, trapping 33 miners approximately 700 meters underground. The miners were successfully rescued after a 69-day ordeal, with the first miner, Florencio Avalos, emerging on October 13, 2010. The mine, owned by the San Esteban Mining Company, was located in the Atacama Desert of Chile, approximately 50 miles northwest of the town of Copiapó, and approximately 500 miles north of Santiago. At approximately 2 p.m. a cave-in occurred at the San José mine following warnings of disturbances earlier in the day. The mine, opened in 1889, had been the site of numerous earlier accidents, including an explosion in 2007 that killed 3 miners. Little was done to improve conditions before the mine was reauthorized for continued excavation by Chile's National Geology and Mining Service in 2000. Inside the mine at the time of the collapse were 33 workers, 32 were Chilean and 1 was Bolivian. Most were miners, though several subcontracted workers were also trapped. The mine, which spiraled into the depths of a mountain, was approximately 800 meters deep. A local emergency squad attempted a rescue that night but was unsuccessful. Following this initial failure, the Chilean government ordered Codelco, the state-owned mining company, to coordinate the rescue effort. On August 7 a second collapse occurred, blocking access to ventilation shafts that might have served as a point of egress for the men had ladders been in place as stipulated by safety regulations. The next day rescue workers began drilling exploratory holes through which they sent listening probes in an attempt to discern signs of life. The search was further complicated by outdated maps of the mine's structure. However, on August 22 one of the approximately 30 probes detected tapping. And when it was drawn to the surface, a note reading "All 33 of us are all right in the shelter" was attached. Thereafter the men were known as Los 33. A video feed threaded through the small drill hole later confirmed that they were unharmed. The point at which the men were trapped was approximately 700 meters from the surface. During the 17-day period the men spent without contact with the surface, they subsisted on a supply of emergency rations intended to last 2 days, taking meals only once every other day. Water was obtained from a spring and from radiators. Some of the men developed fungal infections due to the high humidity and 35 degrees Celsius heat, and some suffered eye and respiratory problems, but the miners were otherwise unscathed. By August 23 nutrient gel, water, and communication devices had been fed through the holes to the men, in order to ensure the survival of the workers until they could be extracted. As the days progressed, solid food was passed through the channel, as were first aid supplies, exercise routines, and lighting devices. In the meantime, plans for recovering the men continued. 3 separate drilling rigs were brought to the site. 2 were raisebore machines, which drill a small hole and then widen it, and 1 was a piece of equipment normally used in oil and gas prospecting that could drill 1 wide hole. The trapped workers split into 3 groups, each of which worked an 8-hour shift to remove the debris caused by the drilling and to reinforce the walls of the mine. Though the men were initially expected to remain trapped until December, on October 9 the Plan B drill finally completed a tunnel connecting to an accessible chamber. Late on the night of October 12 the rescue worker was lowered into the mine inside the capsule. Just after midnight the first worker was drawn to the surface. By that evening the last man, a shift supervisor who had organized the men during their time underground, had been rescued. Because the San Esteban Mining Company did not have the resources or funds to engineer the rescue, the bulk of the $20 million cost was shouldered by the Chilean government and its companies. In the wake of their rescue, the men were feted both at home and abroad. They were guaranteed 6 months of health care and flown to international destinations for media appearances and sightseeing tours. In March 2011 a congressional commission placed blame for the collapse on the owners of the mine. 2 of the miners filed a collective lawsuit against the government in July of that year, asking for more than $500,000 each. The owners of the Chilean Mining Company agreed to reimburse the government for roughly a quarter of the rescue costs in March 2012. Prosecutors, who had been investigating the case since 2010, ruled in August 2013 that neither Cernagiaman nor the owners of the mine bore any criminal responsibility for the accident, reducing the miners' legal recourse to civil suits.
For more videos please subscribe Facts Zone.